Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just CJ Sports. I'm your host, Justin Cjack. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking us out. Drop a like and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about some Week 14 predictions and some highlights and stats. What I think is going to happen in Week 14. We got a couple slugfests in the AFC and definitely a blockbuster in the NFC. So we're going to take a look and go over and hopefully create some discussions down in the comments. Thursday Night Football, we've got an NFC matchup. Two teams that really haven't liked the outcome of their season so far, but definitely talent on both sides of the ball for each team. The Cowboys headed into the Bears in Chicago. The Cowboys are 6-8 on the road since 2018. Definitely lackluster. Could be a result of coaching. As we know, Jason Garrett's on the hot seat as of late. We'll see what happens with that. Will they let him play out the season, or, could it be clips for him? So yeah, the Cowboys 6-8 on the road since 2018, not very good. What the Cowboys need to do in this matchup is they have to use Zeke. Obviously, Khalil Mack and the other stud pass rushers on the Bears. They're gonna rattle Dak, and that's exactly what the Bills did last week. I guess that's the formula to slow him down. But they have to use Zeke. They abandoned him against the Bills. I don't know why they did that. The Bears have allowed 100 rushes, or 100 rush game, 100 rush games in the last 3 weeks. I think that's a result of Akeem Hicks being out of the lineup and now on IR. The Cowboys also need to make Mitch Trubisky uncomfortable. Robert Quinn, the new guy on the team, 9.5 sacks this season. Everyone thought his career was over. He wasn't planning on that. DeMarcus Lawrence, another stud pass rusher, acquired Michael Bennett. The only thing this week is they'll be without Leighton Vander Esch, their linebacker. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. The Bears, right now in NFL purgatory. They are in the hunt. This is a direct result of Mitch Trubisky. Has not been great at all. I think what they have to do in this game is they have to keep the game plan simple for Mitch. He's got 4 picks in the last 3 games. However, he's been throwing for a lot of yards. I think he's been playing better as a direct result of Matt Nagy and him taking heat. They know they have to pick it up. So yeah, we'll see that. They're gonna have to protect the football. Dallas creates turnovers, but they struggle to capitalize on the turnovers. So definitely protect the football against the Cowboys. My prediction in this game, I think the Cowboys are gonna take it. I think the Bears don't have enough to beat the Cowboys. Cowboys have more talent. Mitch Trubisky, he's playing better, but he's still not great. I think the Cowboys are also gonna want to play for Jason Garrett. So we'll see how that game goes. I've got the Cowboys. 49ers and Saints. This is the NFC slugfest I was talking about. 49ers head down to New Orleans. Now, the 49ers coming off of a loss to the Ravens. 2 great teams slugging it out. Ravens came out on top. The 49ers have to forget last week. It's a different opponent. Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees are completely 2 different talents. Both great, 2 different talents. Different game plan this week. They're now in the wild card spot, which is insane. They're 10-2, but they have a wild card spot because Seattle took that spot last night on Monday Night Football. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. They might want to play harder just to get back into that spot. Hopefully Seattle drops one for them. They have to get George Kittle involved. They have to keep it physical against the Saints. And George Kittle is the definition of physical. If you look it up in the dictionary, you'll find his name. So, yeah. Keep George Kittle involved, blocking game, receiving game. We know he's a big play threat. Keep it simple for Jimmy. Get the ball to Kittle. Their defense, first in defensive rankings. Nothing serious. Second in sacks with 45. And the Saints are 6th in the league in sacks allowed with 21. So they need to be able to take advantage of the Saints' poor offensive line. They need to get to Drew Brees because we know Drew Brees likes to get the ball out quick. So definitely get to the quarterback here in this game. For the Saints, you got to keep it simple. You got to keep going with the game plan, with the blueprint that's been for the whole season. You got to get the ball to Michael Thomas, and you got to have Drew Brees just keep going. He's first in completion percentage in the entire league. So I think that's a direct result of getting the ball out quick to Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, obviously, #1 in receiving yards this year. I think he's an MVP candidate. He's playing ridiculous this year, so keep getting the ball to him. It works. You got to keep the 49ers on their toes. We know Kyle Shanahan's a creative coach. He's up for Coach of the Year, great coach. You have to keep it creative against them. So I'm not saying get too cute with it, but maybe mix in a couple trick plays, with Ted Ginn, someone like that. You gotta keep the Saints on their toes here. Um, for this matchup, you gotta watch Fred Warner, the linebacker. He's a stud. Drafted last year, I believe, in the second, third round. Get the ball away from him because he's been a stud this year. Watch out for that D-line. Like I said, the 49ers are second in sacks this year. Anybody, you got Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Nick Bosa is a stud this year. Great pick. And yeah, you gotta watch out for those guys. Solomon Thomas is playing better. You got to get the ball out quick, so keep doing what you're doing. However, I think the 49ers are going to take this one. Yeah, I think they're going to take this one because, like I said, they're in the wild card with a 10-2 record. That's just unheard of, and that's crazy to me. So I think they're going to play harder. They're going to want to get back into the top spot for the NFC West. So I think they're going to want to play harder. Saints, Drew Brees only has 12 touchdowns this year, which is surprising to me. But I don't know. You got to keep the Saints rattled. You got to get to the quarterback. So I'm going to say the 49ers take this one and go on to the next week, and they'll be 11-2. The Ravens at the Bills. This is going to be a good game right here. Hot team versus hot team. Two teams, two young quarterbacks, two quarterbacks who were criticized highly in the draft process, and they're both playing the best out of their entire draft class. Sam Darnold hasn't been that great. Baker Mayfield hasn't been great. And we all know how Josh Rosen's been playing, or the lack thereof. So we have the Ravens at the Bills. With the Ravens, you got to go Lamar, go. I mean, he's MVP frontrunner this year. They got to continue the hot streak with him. They got to keep it simple. They know what he's capable of. I believe the Bills know what he's capable of as well, though. So got to keep an eye on that matchup. I think Lamar is an insane talent, both passing and rushing the football. Keep the ball on the ground. The Bills have an insane secondary. Tre'Davious White, Levi Wallace, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, four premier secondary talents. So I'd say get the ball to Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram has been a fabulous pickup for them for the offseason. He's been a great guy this year. I know he's been good in fantasy. He's been great. So keep the ball on the ground with Mark Ingram. He's a stud. You got to try to contain Josh Allen. This is similar for the Bills for Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen's a dual-play quarterback. He'll hurt you in the air and on the ground. The Cowboys saw it last week. The rest of the Bills' opponents have saw it. Josh Allen is capable of getting out of the pocket and making plays on his feet. He's hard to bring down. So we'll see what happens with that matchup. The Ravens are going to have to keep an eye on Josh Allen for sure. As far as the Bills go, you got to try your best to stop Lamar. I'm not saying you're going to shut down Lamar because I don't think that's going to happen. Lamar Jackson is insane. He'll make your linebackers miss. He'll make your D-line miss. He'll make your secondary miss. It's going to happen. You have to make Lamar Jackson pass. Like I said, I respect Lamar's ability to pass the ball. I think he's fairly good at it. But the reason he's a front runner is because he's going to go over 1,000 and 1,000 on passing and rushing for a quarterback. That is absolutely unheard of. So you have to make him pass the ball to your more talented secondary. Hopefully a bad throw comes out or it slips out and the pressure gets to him, and you got to create turnovers, make Lamar Jackson pass the ball. You have to outwork the Ravens. This is what the Ravens are known for. They're going to grind the ball against you. The Bills have to do it against them to beat them. You got to use the clock against them. You have to tire them out, and you got to beat them at their own game. I think that's the formula to do it. The Ravens dropped 2 in a row to the Chiefs and the Browns. So I think that was the formula that they used to get rid of the Ravens, come out with a win. So hopefully the Bills can follow that formula. For the Bills, it's gap integrity on D-line. We know Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, has preached this the past couple weeks. You have to keep your gap. You have to know what your assignment is. And especially on this game, there's no margin for error playing against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. You have to be strong on the D-line. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be ready. For the prediction of this game, it's going to sound like a homer, but I have the Bills. I know the Ravens are hot. They've had, 8 wins in a row. I think the Bills are going to take this one. They're home, and we know how crazy New Era Field can get. And they're looking to prove themselves. I mean, even beating the Cowboys last week, they still haven't gotten the national recognition I think they deserve, being 9-3. I think people still look at them as the same old Bills, but it's a different case with a new culture with Sean McDermott leading the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills this week. I think they stand a really good shot. Okay, so this isn't one of the bigger games, but I wanted to talk about this because I was talking to my friend about it. He's a Chargers fan. It's funny. Uh, the Chargers are heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Funny situation with the Chargers. I think everyone and their moms expected the Chargers to be, a contender this year in the AFC. However, it has been the complete opposite. They're 4-8 on the season, and Philip Rivers is playing the worst ball of his professional career. Uh, Here's the thing. He's playing rough. Don't take him out. Keep him in for the rest of the season. Definitely keep him in for the rest of the season. You don't want a train wreck. Wait till next season. You can head to the draft. I think they're slotted to pick 10th right now, and I think Tua can follow them. Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama, due to his injury. Justin Herbert or Jacob Eason could be targets there. Or you can head with Tyrod and have either one of them mentor your new quarterback. But keep Philip Rivers in, man. He's a Hall of Famer. This could be his last season. Who knows? But he deserves to have these last couple games. As far as stopping Jacksonville, they have to make Minshew Mania nervous. Okay, Gardner Minshew is going to get the start this week, despite Nick Foles coming back. They benched him last game. He didn't play great at all. So Gardner Minshew is going to come in place for him against the Chargers. You got to make him nervous. You got to create some stunts, creative pass rushes with your two studs, Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. Sorry. You got to make him nervous. You got to get pressure on the quarterback. The thing with the Chargers is, watching their games, I realize it's big play or swing route. There's no in between. You got to get in between somewhere. You have Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry, two premier receiving talents. You have Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon, two studs at the running back position. You got to take advantage of your talent, and I think the Chargers haven't done this year, and I think that's a direct result of why their record is what it is. So you got to use your stars here against Jacksonville. It's a capable opponent to beat, so definitely take advantage of what you have on the offensive side of the ball. As far as the Jaguars go, you have to pressure Philip Rivers. If you're watching any games this season, you'll see Philip Rivers. If he gets pressured for a second, he's just going to tuck it in. He doesn't even look to get out of the pocket, and I don't blame him because that offensive line is horrendous. But yeah, pressure Rivers. That's been the formula for most opponents against the Chargers. It's pretty easy to get Philip Rivers down. Yeah, so just make them nervous. Make the Chargers run. They're 27th in rushing, which is insane to me. I don't know what the coordinators are doing down there in Los Angeles, but they're 27th in rushing with Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. That's not where you want to be at. That could be a direct result of the offensive line or the scheme that they have and the offensive fits that they have. But I don't like where they're at in rushing. I think that definitely needs to improve next year. Hopefully up front, so that whoever plays quarterback next year doesn't have as hard as a time as Philip Rivers is having right now. For the Jaguars, I'd say nickel and dime until you get the opportunity to make a big play. We've seen that Gardner Minshew was capable of making this play however many times at the beginning of the season. He won Rookie of the Week like 5 times, I think, just because of the sole fact that he's steady. He doesn't get nervous. He doesn't get rattled. He's got a good personality. He's got good confidence in himself. So yeah, for the Jaguars, nickel and dime and lead to the big play. He's shown he can do it. Get DJ Chark and Dede Westbrook, get them involved. And my third note here is you have to give Leonard Fournette the rock. I mean, this guy is a workhorse. He's ridiculous. He touches the ball so many times a game. He only has 3 touchdowns to show on the season, though, so I'd like to see him get more involved in the red zone opportunities. Maybe he has been involved, but maybe it just hasn't worked out in his favor. But Leonard Fournette's a stud this year, receiving and rushing, and I know that was one of the knocks on him coming out in the draft in 2017 is Fournette can't catch the ball. I think he's done just fine catching the ball in the NFL. So get him the ball. I think he's your best player on offense. Get Fournette the ball, and I think good things will happen. I think that the Chargers are going to drop this game and go to 4-9. I think the Jaguars... I just think the Chargers are a hot mess. That's the reason why I think they're going to lose this game. I think the Jaguars are going to be electric because of Minshew being back. We know how much of a fan favorite he is. So, yeah, I think that the Jaguars are going to take this matchup. And the last game that I have posted here is a huge matchup down in the AFC. Sunday football at 4:25. The Chiefs are going to head up to New England and play the Patriots. this is going to be a shootout game, and it's definitely going to be the game I'm going to watch. This game is going to be awesome. For the Chiefs, you can't turn the ball over. The Patriots are second in defense this year. Their defense is ridiculous, and I think it's the sole reason they're winning games because Tom Brady has been lackluster this season. I wouldn't say he's been awful, but he's definitely not been the Tom Brady we all know, and that's obviously a direct result of his age. He has a good O-line. It's just his age. His father time is taking the advantage of him. So don't turn the ball over because they'll capitalize on it. You got to capitalize on your big plays. You got to get Travis Kelce. You got to get Tyreek Hill the ball. These guys are game wreckers, all right? You got to use those guys. I think Sammy Watkins hasn't even been in the offense for the past couple weeks, so they might look to buy him out this offseason. But keep it simple with your playmakers. You give the ball to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. That's the way you're going to win this game. You got to make Brady uncomfortable. Similar to Phillip Rivers, if you pressure Brady, he's just going to go down. I mean, there's literally no chance he's getting out of the pocket and scrambling. So, big games for Frank Clark and Chris Jones on that Chiefs D-line. They need to capitalize and take advantage there. For the Patriots, keep it simple. We know the offense has been struggling. We know it's been a complaint for many Patriots fans. You got to keep it simple. It's been dink and dunk his whole career, and it works. So you got to keep doing it because it works. You got to win the game on defense. Like I said, the offense is not where it should be right now. So win the game on defense. Like I said, second in defensive efforts. The offense has been struggling, so rely on your defensive talent to make plays and hopefully put the offense in a great position to score the football. For the Patriots, run the ball. The Chiefs aren't great at run defending or defending at all, for that matter. I want to see Sony Michel have a big game. I think they don't feature him as much as they should. Sony Michel's a stud out of Georgia. Hopefully get James White the ball in the passing game because we know he's probably one of the premier pass catchers at the running back position in the league. So get him involved. For this game, I think I'm going to take the Chiefs. I mean, they're away, but, man, the Patriots really suck on offense lately. And I'm not even being a Buffalo homer. I just think that the Chiefs are a better team, more well-rounded. But Mahomes is obviously one of the young stars in this league, MVP last year. I think the Chiefs can take advantage on both sides of the ball here. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. That's all I have for this week. I thank you for coming and talking football with me this week. I'll be back next week for Week 15 and results from this week. I hope you enjoyed. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. This has been Justin Cejak. Thank you for visiting Justin Cejak Sports.